Hello aspirants. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of you for clearing your KAS mains. So March has been a very happening month. The very first week of March, it looked like March rush. IFS mains result was declared, KAS mains result was declared, and yesterday even UPSC final result was declared. So today here we are for the KAS orientation session. You are being in a very final round of your selection process and very crucial, the personality test. So in this session, we'll be talking about what is personality test, what are the essentials, personality test, that is your interview, KAS interview, what is the essentials of interview, how you need to prepare for your interview, what are they basically looking in you as an interview candidate. So all these things we will be discussing step by step. Yes, so before knowing about the personality test, let us know that what is personality. Okay, you should understand that what is personality, because you are going to appear in your personality test. So what is personality? Personality is certain kind of a disposition which dispose you to behave in certain way, to feel in certain way. So it is like a combination of your thoughts, feeling, behavior and action. The way you feel, the way you think, the way you behave and the way you act. This entire combination is called as personality. Okay, so that is what in your final round they are going to test your personality. How do you feel inside? So you see, they have already checked your knowledge aspect in your mains. So many people, they say that in personality test they are not going to check your knowledge, but knowledge is very much part of your personality, isn't it? So don't have this kind of a notion that they are not checking your knowledge. You have to be knowledgeable, but yes, those things which are expected. It's not, see, knowledge is again infinite. Nobody is expecting you to know, have a endless knowledge. Nobody can have that. But yes, there are certain areas which you should have knowledge. In that question you cannot say that, so I don't know, or ma'am I don't know, I am not aware about you. Somebody asks you the questions about yourself, define your own personality. You cannot say that I don't know, isn't it? So knowledge is very much part of your personality, about the current affairs, about the major national and international issues. You must be aware, isn't it? If somebody asks you like, what is happening in Iran or what is happening in West Asia, you can't say, sir, I am not aware of that, isn't it? You are supposed to know about it, about your district, about your hometown, about your city, about your state. Whatever is important, whatever is major things, you must be aware of. Awareness, knowledge is very much part of your personality, that reflects that you are a person of up to date. You are an up to date person. You are a curious person. You are a learned person. You like to acquire knowledge, isn't it? So that is what is your personality, your feelings, your emotions, your attitude, and not the least, knowledge is also part of your personality. So in many interviews and in many places you would have heard about that personality test is not a knowledge test. Knowledge is one part of your personality, okay? It cannot be the entirely a knowledge test, but yes, a person who is more knowledgeable, they'll get more marks, isn't it? Because the knowledge will give you an confidence to answer the question, isn't it? Of course, doesn't mean that they are checking only knowledge. They are checking other aspect of your personality also. Your honesty, your integrity, your mental awareness, your mental alertness, all these are part of your personality, and knowledge is also part of your personality. So how you think, how you feel, how you act, how you respond to a situation, how you interact with others, these are the aspect of your personality. Okay. Now what is the purpose of the interview or your personality test? So I hope all of you know that it is for 25 marks, though it looks like that marks is very less, but very crucial. This 25 marks, out of that whatever the score you will be getting, that will determine your final success, because that will be added to your mains marks. So obviously who is getting more marks in the personality test and also they have good marks in the mains, adding together, they will be in a, the priority list for the selections, isn't it? So what UPSC or KPSC, it is same for UPSC, it is same for KPSC, or for that matter, any interview. But particularly you are here going for administrative services, right? So administrative trait also they are going to check whether you are capable, whether you are suitable for that job or not. It is just like a job basically. You go for any job interview, isn't it? So they check the suitability criteria or not, whether you are suitable or not. So similar way, even the KPSC or the UPSC, or for that matter any interview board, they would try to check the suitability of the candidate. Okay, so they will check overall suitability of the candidate for a career in civil services. So what are they checking? These are the traits they are going to check in you. Mental alertness, very important. As an officer, you need to be mentally alert. You should have a good environmental sense that what is happening, so that you are always in a ready position, because the situation you will be working will be very dynamic, very dynamic. So you have to be mentally very alert so that you can adequately and properly respond to a evolving situation. So mental alertness is one of the very important criteria for administrative services. Okay. Then critical thinking. Again, what is critical thinking? What is critical thinking? Critical thinking where you evaluate certain ideas or certain things in both the ways, both pros and cons. You are not just guided by what anybody says. Okay, somebody has said this, yeah, this is what correct. You use your own mind. What are the pros and what are cons of a certain things or certain situation? For example, there is a war is going on in Iran, and in the entire West Asia is disturbed. So whether India should take side by Iran or US and Israel together, where we should we take side of each other or should we remain neutral? That is called, you apply your own mind, you weigh the pros and cons and then you take the decision. That is called critical thinking. You are not driven or you are not directed by somebody else's idea. You do your own calculation, you do your own analysis before taking any decision. Critical thinking, critical approach, weighing both pros and cons. That is called critical thinking. Social awareness, again, as a civil servant, socially aware is one of the most important aspect, because as a civil servant, you are going to work for the welfare of the people of the state, welfare of the people of the state. So you must have a knowledge about the various social issues of women, issues of elderly, issues of vulnerable section of society, particularly the vulnerable section of society. what are the problems they facing, and how as an administrative officer or as a public servant I am going to solve those problems, right? So social awareness is very, very important. Integrity and honesty, again this is also very, very important part of an administrative behavior. See, as a person also, we always like whom? We like an honest person. There is a word mentioned called honesty and integrity. What is the difference between the two? Why not only honesty and why not only integrity? Are they same? So, though they are mostly used in a similar manner, but there is a slight difference. So, honest, if you can say integrity, integrity is a more encompassing word. It has got wider meaning. It has got moral tone. Integrity has got more moral tone. Honesty is that you are true. You are truthful in whatever your behavior. That is called honesty. Integrity comes with moral tone. That you, whatever the action you take, you weigh on the morality, whether this act of mine is moral or not. So, in civil service, since you will be given a lot of power, you should not misutilize your power. You should work with integrity and honesty. There will be a lot of temptation to do or work for your own interest, but you have to bypass your own interest and majorly you have to work for interest of the society all the time. You should always keep the society interest first, not your interest, right? So that is called integrity and honesty. True to your job, you are working with full commitment. Even if nobody is watching, you are still working. You are driven by certain moral notion. That's the integrity is something internal factor, right? Communication skill. Again, this is also very, very important part of your personality, isn't it? Because if somebody do not know how well, to communicate well, they will not able to put across their ideas properly, nor able to understand the other side ideas properly. And particularly your own communication is more always, receiver centric. Receiver centric means the way you communicate to whomsoever you are targeting. Okay, this is my audience, they should able to understand. If they have understood it, then your communication is good. If they have not understood it, then your communication is not good, right? So communication is very, very important, and in communication skill, both your verbal skill and non-verbal skill. Verbal skill through oral, what you are speaking, your clarity of voice, use of proper sentences, grammar, all these will come under the verbal skill. You are fluent and also you are able to talk well. You are able to put across your idea in a proper manner, in a convincing manner, right? That is called the oral skill or verbal skill. Another aspect is the non-verbal skill, which is equally important. Your body language, your confidence, your sitting posture, the way you are sitting, all these are non-verbal, part of non-verbal communication. So both should align. The verbal skill and the non-verbal skill both should align with each other. That is called a good communication. Okay, so communication skill is extremely important, a good communication. So for that you need to practice. You need to inculcate a good communication skill, and that will happen only through proper practice. Whether you choose Kannada as a medium of your language for communicating with the board members or English, isn't it? I think these two are only the language which are permissible, either English or Kannada, isn't it? So you have to be fluent. You have to be fluent. One thing. Secondly, formal language. Use of formal language is very important. You can't use informal or canteen language. Official language, the way the officers, talk and speak. So we should have proper vocabulary, isn't it? Clarity in your voice. And all these require practice, whether Kannada or English. You choose any medium, you should be fluent and you should use what? Formal language along with the non-verbal, proper non-verbal cues or communication should also be good. That includes your body posture, the way you walk, your confidence, your tone of language, everything that's part of your non-verbal. Okay, eye contact, even eye contact. Eye contact is very, very important. Very important. That shows your confidence and conviction in your own answer. Okay, so you should have a proper eye contact with the board. That's very, very important. I hope all of you are getting clarity. Balanced judgment. So just like in your mains, it's an interview is nothing but whatever you have given in your mains. That you have given in the written format, here you have to communicate in an oral format. Isn't it? So in your mains also what you write, you used to give a balanced answer or not? So in similar way here also you have to give the balanced answer, whatever the question is being posed. Whether we should have sided with Iran and we should have helped Iran, or we should have taken a side of Israel or US. What do you think? You should come up with the proper balanced answer. That we should always see the national interest is first. So according to the national interest, we take our decision. But at the same time, we should try to maintain certain kind of global standards. Global standard, particularly when we want to become Vishwa Guru or global leader. So we just can't keep quiet. Just can't keep quiet. But at the same time, we have to see that national interest is also not jeopardized. So accordingly, we have to take a balanced opinion or idea. Okay, so in this way, balanced judgment is very, very important. Particularly when you are in an administrative field, balanced opinion is very important. You can't work like an activist. Activist, or for example, extremist people, they take one-sided view, isn't it or not? They are extremist. But a person who want to enter civil services, because whatever the decisions they take, the impact will be very, very high. So that is the reason the decisions and judgment should be balanced. Ability to handle pressure. So as I have mentioned you that you will be working in a very, very dynamic situation, and dynamic issues will, it keeps on evolving very fast. There will be pressure, so much of pressure from various quarters. There will be pressures from various quarters, from the political leadership, from the society. Society will have certain expectations from you, from the media. So there are a lot of pulls and pressure. In that kind of a pressure, how you deal with those pressure and still come out with proper decisions or proper action, which are in the interest of the society and nation. In the interest of the society and nation. That is called that you have to handle your pressure properly. Should have that kind of strong personality. There are many people, they enter and then they leave the job. They are not able to handle the pressure. Isn't it? So you should be in a position to handle the pressure well, but not bogged down by the pressure, not bogged down the pressure. You should remain upright and very tactfully you should be able to handle the pressure. Moral and ethical values. As a civil servant, as I have told you, it is very, very important that you always put the society and the state and nation first. You should be at the last. Many a time you will have to take a decision which might have a conflict with your personal interest. But in that case, what interest you will keep it first? Societal interest. Right? Societal interest, you have to keep it first. So you need to have moral and ethical values. So these are the key requirement. That is what the board is looking, that the person have mental alertness, has the critical thinking about social awareness, or is he honest in his answer or not, how is the communication skill. Very importantly, leadership qualities. Because you will be put in a leadership position, isn't it? Immediately after your selection, it's not like that you will be joining at the lower rung and then as a promotion you will rise. You will be directly put under the leadership role. You will be given a period of training and immediately after the training, you will be given the position, leadership position. Now you handle. Okay. So, leadership quality. What is leadership qualities? What is leadership quality? Where you are not waiting for directions, isn't it? Where you are more proactive. You are proactive. You are proactive. A leader is the one who is proactive, visionary. He is not reactive, but proactive. He knows that what step has to be taken, or she knows that how the things are evolving, and the person is already ready to tackle the situation. Innovative. Innovative. Initiative. The person will take initiative, will not wait for direction, because he is in a leadership position, na? So he is the one who has to manage all. Okay. So leadership quality is very, very important, because the job you are trying for, these all are for the leadership position. Leadership positions. Okay. Social awareness, integrity, communication skill, leadership quality, balanced judgment, ability to handle pressure, and moral and ethical values. These are the key requirement for becoming a civil servant. So we'll talk about the structure of the interview, how the interview is being conducted. You must be, that would be an interest for you to know about how the interview is being conducted. So generally there will be the 4 to 5 members in a board. So it's a multi-member board. It is not the one person who will judge you or who would try to find about you that how you are, whether you are suitable or not, because one person can make wrong judgment. So it is a group of person headed by one board member who will conduct the interview 20 to 40 minutes. Generally the interview is there. And what are the questions? What are they basically, like how you should prepare? You should know from where they are being asking, right? So majorly, most part of your question will deal with your profile, that is DAF. Whatever you have filled in your interview detail application form, because that will be in front of them through whatever you have mentioned there. So very, very carefully you have to fill the DAF. The KPSC has already announced the date, right? From where it is? From when? Yes, 23rd March. You don't have much time. So it is very, very high time. You have very, very less time is there, and it's very high time that you very intensively prepare for your interview. And one which is very, very important, of course these all are also very important, but DAF, it is in front of you, and basically they would like to know more about you, isn't it? So DAF is very, very important. Then the question from current affair, optional subject anyway it is in UPSC, not for KAS. Hobbies and interest, home state, what is the issues of the home state, educational background, and if you are working, your work experience. These are the main things. These are the main things. So they can ask you with introduce yourself. Okay. Many a time we have seen that the board member, they would like to know about you, and mostly the very first question, most of the time the first question is that introduce yourself. Okay, then they would see, they may okay, you are from Karnataka, since it is for KAS, so majorly the questions will be from, that is expected that it will be mainly from the Karnataka, more intensive will be from Karnataka. But it's not like that international issues will not be asked, even you should be aware. So read newspaper carefully and thoroughly. Remain updated. All the major issues about your states, north part, south part. So your DAF, whatever the information you have filled in your DAF, your personal information, your district, from where district, your city, your town, your village, that's very, very important. Your school, your college, and your work, if you are working, these are very, very important. And also your hobbies, what hobbies you have. Generally we have seen the questions are mostly they ask from this. Apart from that, current affairs, that is national, international and state issues. National, international and state issues. These are the main thing, but you should have a very good knowledge about your districts. Any important, like any GI tag or so, like from Bidri work. Bidri work is a GI tag, isn't it? That's silver Bidri work mixed with other metal. It has got GI tag. So what is the importance? Somebody is from Bidar, they should know about that. Lambani, the sari, you know, very less people they know it has got GI tag and it is from Karnataka. Which district also, you should know, isn't it? So similarly, what are the GI tags? What is your district famous for? If you are from North Karnataka, what are the major issues and problems with North Karnataka? Why it is backward? What is the government initiative or government efforts to make it, you know, to bridge the developmental gap between North and South? What are the potential areas where they can work more to bridge the gap faster? Like tourism is a very, you know, very good potential in North Karnataka. North Karnataka is more, has tourist sports because it is called cradle of civilization. Vijayanagara kingdom, Bahamni kingdom, isn't it? So all the great historical places and all, it is there in the North Karnataka. So tourism has very high potential. Apart from that, they are very rich in minerals. And in spite of that is a big paradox. That's a very big paradox. That in spite of having so much of rich resources, natural resources as well as there are other resources also, still it is backward. So that is a big paradox. So why it is happening? Why the development gap has still not been bridged? What more should be done? Please prepare well on all those topics, your town, village, your school, if it is associated with any historical name, like there's some school name is Morarji Desai school. So who was Morarji Desai? What was his contribution? If VTU, Vishwesvaraya Technological University, what is the contribution of Sir M. Visvesvaraya in the development of modern Karnataka, isn't it? So you should be well aware about those things. What are the minerals present in your districts? What is the forest cover? What is the natural vegetation? What is the difference between your Maidan and Malnad? Isn't it? You should have a very good clarity on all those things and your work experience. Whatever, if you are working, and if you are not working, then what you are doing? You should be ready with convincing answer. Okay. Hobbies, if you have any hobbies, whatever hobbies, singing, dancing, or painting, or any unique hobby, you know, many some people, they also have a interest in wildlife, watching wildlife documentaries, isn't it? VFX kind of things, editing, lot of you know, things, in gaming also, video gaming. Some people, they have lot of interest in video gaming, so you should be well aware about that. Somebody, they have a lot of interest in sports and extracurricular activities also. If you have hold any extracurricular activities, if you have hold any position of leadership during your schools, college, and you are good in extracurricular activities, any sports, any events, event management you participated, you should have a very good idea. These all are very basics. You must be aware about all this. You, in these kind of question, you cannot say, sir, I don't know, I am not aware, or I think. Don't use I think. You know, there's a lot of problems I have seen in many students or candidate. They use the word I think. Particularly, see, I think means guess. Guessing is not allowed, okay? If you are guessing, you have to take their permission. So if you have a habit of using I think, please mold your habit. Don't use the word I think. I think means you are not convinced with your own answer. You are doubtful, isn't it? When do we use I think? When we are doubtful, isn't it? And particularly if you are using I think for all these kind of information, I think the name of my meaning, my name of meaning is this. You can't say I think. Somebody asks you, what is the meaning of your name? You cannot say, sir, I think it is so and so. Then gone. You are gone. I think means they will also start thinking, should we take or not? Okay. So, don't use this word I think. That's a very dangerous word that makes you a totally a doubtful personality. Okay, so be ready with all these kind of informations. That's very important. Brush it up well. Read economy survey of your Karnataka. Budget economy survey is very important. What are the government schemes? How are they performing? How are they doing? Please collect all the relevant information. I hope clear till here. So these are the some of the question, you know, the common questions, like tell me something about yourself. Why do you want to join civil service or KAS? You are already, suppose you are already in a job, and even if you are not in a job, they would like to know what is the purpose. Okay, what is the purpose for you to join civil services? So some, they have some stories, you know, some people, they are really driven. They say that, sir, I feel that some, they also make up the story also. They recall the story, like I have seen how as a civil servant can effectively I can contribute to society, because it gives power in your hand, and power can be effectively utilized for bringing change. If you want to bring change, you need power, isn't it? The power could be the various, there are various way of building power. One, through politics. You enter politics, you have power. Through that also you can bring change. One is by joining civil service. So this is one way of you know, gaining power in your hand to bring effective change. That's a very unfortunate thing, that most of the time these power are wielded for our own consumption, our own interest. We want to further our own interest, and that's why we want to get power. Unfortunately, that is not a good, you can say, or acceptable kind of things. So power should be to bring change, right? So you come from suppose backward communities or vulnerable section of society, And you can say that I have personally, felt or experienced this kind of difficulties in my life. And if I become an civil servant, I can I know I know the pulse of people, what they want and what changes need to be brought, and this will give me the power to bring that change, isn't it? So in that way you can, you can talk about that this is the reason why I want to join. You don't say that, I want to make more money, I want to indulge in corruption and make so much of money to fulfill the generation till 7th generation, all people are set. Okay, to bring change, to make an impact, isn't it? You can earn so much of money, but then you see, money is important, and they will pay you well. They will pay you well so that you don't indulge in corruption. But then if somebody is a corrupt mind, they will do it anyway. They will do it, okay. But otherwise they will pay you well so that you can lead a good, decent standard of living. At the same time, you have enough power to bring some effective change, because you will be in a position of influence, isn't it? Why not continue your current job? So suppose you are doing your job. So you can talk about, suppose you are a teacher and you want to enter civil service. You can say, sir, teaching is a really great profession, very noble profession. But this give me a limited opportunity to make a mark. But as a civil servant, I can make a very big mark, big impact, isn't it? So yes, certainly teaching is a very noble profession. Or as a doctor or as an engineer, I can certainly contribute to the society a lot. But yes, that impact will be limited. But as a civil servant, your impact will be more wider. You can touch, and particularly if you want to work for the vulnerable section of the society, you can really work well, because India being a welfare state, what is the main objective? Welfare of the people. Working welfare of the people to bring faster socio-economic transformation, bringing positive changes in the life of the people, right? Then the question can be from the academic background, like why did you choose? Anyway, the optional is not there, so not required. And if you're, suppose if you are an engineer, how your knowledge of engineering can be helpful in the field of administration. Suppose you are a lawyer, or you have a degree of law, or doctor, or a teacher, how your working experience or working skill or your for subject matter skill is useful for administration. Optional anyway, it's not there in your case. So if you are working, so what is your working experience, what was your roles, what was your responsibility, all these things, ethics, challenges. If you are a doctor, so what was your, as a doctor, what was your roles, what was your responsibilities, all these things you should be ready with. Hobbies. So sometimes they ask, they can be detailed discussions on hobbies. So you should have again good idea about your hobbies, whatever the hobbies you have filled in the form. So please feel, because this is a hobby section, it is one thing, it's a double-edged sword. So you should be really well prepared. Sometimes people, just for the namesake, they feel the hobbies would looks very fancy, isn't it? Reading books. But you might not have that kind of an interest, deeper interest for reading books. Just because you are preparing for civil service, you have to study so many books, isn't it? That is a part of your preparation. But whether you have that kind of a hobby, apart from your preparation, still you read books which are non-academic, or you read it for your personal interest. Traveling, reading. So if you have interest for traveling, you should be in a position to convince them, right? Convincing answer, yes. I like traveling. Why you like traveling? What do you learn from traveling? Just you have traveled 1 or 2 places, you can't say that, I love traveling. The reason, why do you like traveling? I like to explore cultures. I like to see the geography of that, the vegetation of that place, isn't it? Geographical features, the culture of that place, the society of that place. So that's the reason I love traveling, isn't it? It is not just to go and chill, but I love traveling because I want to learn about the culture. I want to spend the time with those people. I want to witness the diversity of my country, diversity of my state. That is why I love, traveling. It is not just taking a vacations and just chilling 1 or 2 days and coming back. That is not called the actual purpose of traveling. That can be most of the people what they do. They travel for just for fun sake. Okay, that is also one aspect. That is one aspect. You want to chill down, you want to break the monotony, isn't it? So that is also one aspect. But wider, there are some people they travel because they want to explore the culture, the places, the geography of that places, isn't it? They have much deeper interest. Then current affairs, of course, read newspaper, remain updated. That's all is required. Okay, that's all is required. So if you are reading newspaper regularly, I don't think so you will not be in a position to answer question. You will be in a position to answer the question if you have been reading newspaper regularly. There can be some situation based question also, like as an assistant commissioner, as in public officials, as an deputy superintendent of police, if there is any kind of riots or any kind of protest, how will you handle it? As in law and order situation, if there is any law and order situation, how will you handle it? As a deputy superintendent of police or as an assistant commissioner? Situation based question. That they will try to know your decision making skill, how you decide, like to judge your decision making skill. Situation based question, they can give you certain situation and then accordingly you have to answer. So remember that, see, if you are a rational person, you will give logical answer. See, we just have to use our common sense, that's all. If you use your common sense, you will give a rational and logical answer. Okay. Then sometime opinion based question they give you regarding what is your opinion on artificial intelligence, whether it is good for a country like India, which is more labor intensive, where there is already people are reeling with unemployment, whether it is AI is suitable for us. What are the challenges? What are the potentialities? Recently we had an AI summit also, isn't it? What is the outcome? That is what opinion based regarding women's safety, regarding women's safety, environmental issues. They can give you opinion based questions. So again, as I keep on saying, be rational, be logical, and at times you have to also be emotional. Okay. So emotion should also be there because the emotion makes us sensitive. And since we have to work for the people, particularly the vulnerable section of the society, we should be sensitive. But then again, emotion is, double-edged sword. It can be positive, it can be negative. So we should be driven by positive emotions. And we should balance the logic, rationality with emotion. Balanced decision making. Okay. Then what the UPSC or for that matter KPSC expect from you? KPSC, what they expect from you? So in the interview they might ask you some provoking question, but you have to remain calm, composer, because they'll come to know this person is not a reactive, This person is not a reactive. He knows what he is. If I am very confident about myself that I have not done anything wrong, nobody can provoke me. But if I doubt myself, then anybody can easily provoke me. Isn't it? So you have to maintain calmness, positive attitude. Your attitude should reflect positivity, that this person is solution oriented. Whatever the problems come, this person has a ability to find solution. This person will not dwell on the problem but will try to find solution. Positiveness, who see positivity in everything, who know how to come out of a difficult situation, right? Positive attitude. Administrative temperament, of course, since they are looking in you as a public officer, they would certainly look that whether you have the managerial abilities. Can you manage a situation? Can you manage that position? Isn't it? So, administrative, they are not looking a role of a clerk or a manual worker who is driven by direction. They have to, they are ready, they always work on directions from the bosses. You are already a boss. Okay. Of course, political boss will be above you, but then in that position and in many, you will have lot of discretionary power, to deal with certain situations. So, you should have that administrative temperament. Initiative taking, basically leadership role, initiative taking, proactive, rather than waiting for a situation to get worse, rather than to be reactive. You have to be proactive, initiative taking, knowing how to come out of a difficult situation. Logical approach over emotional. So see, whatever the action you are taking, it has a huge impact. So that is the reason you should always work. See, of course, heart is important. That makes you more emotional. But then you have to balance with your mind. Okay. Your decision should be logical. Sensitivity is important. You see, sensitivity is important. Emotions, logic doesn't mean that you should be insensitive. Okay. Logic doesn't mean that you should be insensitive. You have seen that movie, Bahubali? You have seen or not? So, Bahubali, and who was the other person? Vallabh. What was that? Ballal Dev. So, you see how the hero, protagonist, how the antagonist, the villain approach in the war scene. You have seen there was, they have taken some people as an hostage, isn't it? What the Ballal Dev did? To kill that demon, he killed his own people also. Because for him, what was the bigger role? To kill the demon. And in that place, if their own people also came, he killed his own people also. Because he didn't know how to deal with such kind of a situation. Because he was not sensitive. But Bahubali, you see how he did? He used his tactics to save his own people at the same time to kill that demon. Okay, so that is how sensitive is important. Logic doesn't mean that you are insensitive. Logic means you are sensitive. At the same time, you take decision on the basis of that how it is going to impact people at large. How can I save if there are people, and how can I utilize my ideas and knowledge and my intellect to save more people? Like when India had this, this Kandahar hijack, Kandahar hijack in Afghanistan, 1998. So now people definitely say that we should not have released those terrorists and all. But at that time, whatever they felt that, to save the life, that was more important. That is how you have to take decisions. To save the life, they had to release the terrorist. So sometimes you have to take, your foot back. But later on, they came up with the policy, strong policy, anti-hijack policy. Now they will not negotiate. They will bombard that flight only if such thing happens. They made that very strict rule so that the hijackers, they know that it's not going to yield any result for them even if they hijack the flight, because that is what the policy of the government. But that time there was no such policy, isn't it? Respect for diversity, because India is a diverse country and every state there is diversity, right? Every state, because of we have the constitutional right, freedom of movement, freedom of settlement. So because of that also there is lot of diversity, isn't it? And as also in terms of religion, caste and ethnicity, we have lot, and language, culture, we have lot of diversity. So it is very important that we should have the respect for diversity, isn't it? Like there is an issues of Karnataka versus others. So you have to deal with very sensitively those issues. Karnataka is okay, fine, for Karnataka is it there, but since the other part of the country also, the citizens, it is basically the Indian citizens, right? And they have the freedom to movement and settlement. That is, the constitution gives us the guarantee. So that need to be respected, isn't it? That also need to be respected. For respect for diversity is very, very important. Constitutional values. As a civil servant, for you, what is most important? The constitution. Because it is the constitution which unites us. It is the constitution which unites us. Any issues, any problems, you want to find a solution, refer constitution. Refer constitution. Constitution will give you solution. So constitution, adhering constitutional value is very, very important. What are the constitutional values? Equality, fraternity, yes, justice, isn't it? All the democracy, these are our constitutional values. Sovereignty, we should always protect the sovereignty of the nation. We should also always adhere the constitutional values. Maturity in your thought, of course, as a person who is seen for the leadership role, their thought, behavior, action should reflect maturity, not immaturity. Maturity in place of immaturity. So your thought should be, and your action, thought and action should align, and it should reflect maturity, right? Maturity in your thoughts. I hope you are getting clarity. Then what the interview board, they don't like or they don't want? They don't want. Simple thing, they don't like people cheating them, bluffing them, isn't it? Giving dishonest answer. So whatever, whether you know, you don't know, be very clear with that. So somehow, suppose there are some issues or some informations, you feel that I should be knowing these informations, but you missed it. You can say, sorry sir, I have missed it. This information, somehow I skipped, that had slipped from my mind. Something you remember very faintly, not properly, you can say, sir, as far I could remember, so I have read about it, but as far I could remember, this is what the thing is. Like that, you use these kind of words. Don't so overconfident. Sometimes, overconfidence, some people, they have that kind of tendency. They don't know the thin line between confidence and overconfidence. Confidence is good, but arrogance, overconfidence, that is a negative part of your personality. So don't show overconfidence. Since you are going to join the government, you cannot harshly criticize the government policies like an activist. As an activist, I can criticize. But you are going to join the civil service, right? You are going to become, execute the government policies. Right? You are going to execute the government policy. So if there is any kind of drawback in the policy, you can suggest, but cannot publicly criticize. This policy is bad and so and so and so. If you are differing with that policy, you can talk about your concerns. That yes, these are the concerns related with the policy, what I feel. Okay, be moderate in your answer. Buddha part, middle path, neither too mellow nor too harsh. Middle, moderate. Right? So, whatever the issues you have with the government policy, you can express that in a mild manner. So, these are, I feel that these are the certain issues of concern which need to be addressed. Don't memorize model answer. Many a time, people will go with a scripted answer. Why do you want to join civil service? So, they will prepare one answer and they will do by heart and they will go and they will tell like that. So, they may mold the question, okay. So, be alert and listen carefully what they are asking. Accordingly, you have to answer. Isn't it? Just like in your mains also, isn't it? You can't go with a model answer. You have to look at the question and accordingly you have to answer. Prepare something should be, preparation should be there, but answer should be as per the requirement of the question. But yes, of course, preparation has to be there. Don't over memorize it. Don't panic if corrected. Sometimes, people feel, oh my God, I shouldn't give any wrong answer, and if I am corrected, means I have given wrong answer. They will judge me in a wrong manner. So that is also an issue. Don't get panicked. As a human being, we may make mistakes, right? Things may slip from our mind. So, okay, sir, thank you so much, sir. You can say, or thank you so much, ma'am. You gave me another perspective to see such thing. I have not seen this thing from this perspective. Or maybe, if any fact has been corrected, oh, sorry, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I do remember. Okay. Anything related to fundamental right or DPSP, you mentioned it is in DPSP, but it was in fundamental right. Oh, yes, yes, it is in fundamental right. Thank you so much for correction. Like that. Don't feel that, oh, I said DPSP, but it was in fundamental right and they'll judge me wrong, like that. Okay. So, don't do it like that. So, accept it gracefully. So, basically, these are the points which you need to keep in your mind, and I think it is very, very simple. Interview is very simple, but we should have our control. We should have control over ourselves. If we have a full control of ourselves, definitely the interview is going to be good. If our intention is good, if our preparation is good, and we have control over our emotions, definitely things is going to be good. Don't bluff and all, never, because see, if you don't know it is good, you say, I don't know. Sorry sir, I don't know, this thing has slipped from my mind, rather than giving any bluff or unsure answer. And if you are guessing, please take their permission. Otherwise, don't say, I think. An interview day, dress formally, formal dress with neat dress. If you are male candidate, with shirt, pant neatly ironed, with a formal dress, not dhingchak dress, okay. For girls, you can wear sari, preferably sari or suit. If you are not carrying sari, then they can wear, even suit. But formal dress, neatly formal dress, reach early, be polite and humble. Sometimes, even the students, sometimes they get aggressive by the board members if they are asking certain question. Don't be like that. Listen, yes, one of the issues also, sometimes we jump over the question. People are impatient. First, let the board member finish the question. Listen it very carefully, very attentively, because again, that is also part of your personality. So, listen it very carefully before answering. Don't guess, don't argue unnecessarily. You can say, suppose if they are saying certain thing and you hold your position, there is no problem. Sir, I feel, I beg to differ. You can say like that. Sir, I beg to differ. I believe in this. But of course, backed by fact. Backed by fact. But don't argue. No, no, sir, no. No, this is not like that. You can't argue there with them. I think, sir, you are wrong. Okay. So don't guess, don't argue, but you can maintain your stand. If you have the conviction, you should maintain your stand, because sometimes they would like to check that. Okay, sir, I believe that these are the things on the basis of the facts and the data. I know, sir. I know the limited. If it is beyond that, I should definitely read more about it. Maintain eye contact, very important. That again shows, your confidence. Maintain eye contact with them throughout. And if there are, of course, there will be more board members. So you have to greet everyone, eye contact with everyone. Again, anyway, you see, we'll also conduct session. You can come and join our session, and then definitely we'll train all these things. Smile naturally. Smile should be natural. It should not be something. Some people they don't know how to smile. They're very melancholic type of people. Always they'll maintain very grim face, very serious face. Okay. So smile, because everyone likes smiling personality, isn't it? Even a grim personality, they like smiling personality. Natural smile should be there. Many a time, the smile wins the day. So smile. Keep balance, non-extreme opinion. So these are the things you have to remember on the day of your interview. You should be trained thoroughly. Your mind should be trained. And don't put, be natural. See, automatically, in the mock interview and in the one-on-one interview also, you'll come to know what are your strength, weakness and all. So try to work on that. If there is any major weakness, you have to work on that. And whatever is your strength, you should retain it thoroughly. So this is what our, interview mentorship program. We are providing one-on-one mentorship program. And also the panel interview will also be connected, for which we will let you know later on. But anybody, they can register, they can come to Grace IS or call at this number. They can register for one-on-one. We will give you the slot. So we'll concentrate on your DAF. Okay? Overall we will do it. DAF, knows your strength and weakness, because that's very important that you knows your strength and weakness, and then work on your strength, maintain your strength and work on the weakness. And also essential of personality test, what we have just discussed, that you should maintain confidence, your body language should be good, your posture should be good, communication should be good, there has to be fluency in your communication. So you need to practice well, and through one-on-one, because in one-on-one you will be getting more intensive kind of training, right? And we'll try to pose question from the various angle on the basis of your DAF, and also national, international current affairs, so that you are well prepared. So yeah, for that's all for today. Anybody who is interested, they can call at this number, they can register for one-on-one, and also they can seek information regarding panel interview. Any doubt, please reach us to Grace IS. You can visit the academy or contact at this number. Thank you. All the very best.